What's going on, Blue Chips? How we doing tonight? Friday night, Friday the 13th. Ooh. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, this is a great one for the weekend and just overall. Trust the process. Let's get to it. So, interesting day. Another interesting day. The SPY I have not seen. Let's go take a look at everything here. I have not seen volatility like this since I started trading, not in the overall markets. When we look at the daily, this thing is just absolutely going crazy to the downside. Started all the way at the highs up near around 339. We were close to 340. Dropped all the way down to 285. Got the bounce up back over 3. Everyone's like, oh, we're just going to go back to the highs. Everyone, no one knows what's going on. And then boom, coronavirus type talk like really started to kind of get out of hand. And now we ended up down here at 250. So let's scroll out here and take a look at the last time we were at 250. So the last time we were at 250 was that big crash of 2018, well, going into 2019. And before that, it was all the way back here in 2017. So it's, in 2 weeks, we lost about a year's worth of gains. But fear not. I believe that I'm not going to say it was a pretty crazy bounce today. If we scroll in, we pretty much got back everything from yesterday and a little bit on top of that. What was the high here? 266. And we ended up closing, with a high anyways of 271. So, and sorry if I'm talking a little bit lower. I'm trying to just be a little bit quiet for the kiddos, not trying to wake them up. So scroll out and take a look at the day the SPY had. So we gapped up from last night. Last night, we didn't do too well, gapped up into the morning and pretty much gapped up all the way to the open. And right at the open, we pretty much got smashed. This thing just started going down and down, came up, tested VWAP, made a new low, came back up. VWAP actually went through a little bit, still made, this actually came close to high a day, I think it was, but didn't quite get there. And it just absolutely went downhill. And it started to just kind of chop here around the 250 area. And then Trump made a statement later in the day. And that's kind of why it took off, because they were saying something about 50, since we were going into a nationwide shutdown per se, I think it was like 50 billion is going to be released and it will be able to be put towards all the good stuff to fight the coronavirus. So I got puts before the speech, still holding. Yeah, I guess they're not working out too well for you right this second, but 17,000 cases for the virus in Italy. And that just goes to show you guys, Italy is a little bit smaller than the United States, and the United States has a lot of room to spread. And I've been saying this since, I want to say it's been about a week and a half, that I don't think the United States is prepared for this at all. The virus is going to spread. And that's what, go back to the daily real quick. Everyone had this big down day, and everyone for some reason today and this morning was like, oh, we can't go any lower. We're going to bounce and we start heading back towards the highs. And guys, the initial drop here from the coronavirus, yes, a lot of it's already factored in, but this is just starting. We just had major sporting events canceled. March Madness was just straight up canceled. All pro leagues, NBA, NHL, MLB, all of these leagues are being just suspended until further notice. Shutdowns, schools are being closed indefinitely. I mean, they're giving dates, but it's basically indefinitely because they're playing it by ear, to see what this virus ends up doing. A lot of people don't understand that this virus hasn't even started yet. In China, it hit pretty well, but look at what they did. They were out there spraying the streets, the shops, the markets. Just they were out there doing everything they possibly could to help stop the spread of the virus. In Italy, they didn't do that so much. And look at how bad Italy got hit, right? A lot of elderly people in Italy. Now think of the United States. The United States is known for having some pretty elderly people, some pretty obese people, and just people in bad health altogether, right? That's what this flu is, this virus, that's what it's attacking the most, are elderly people and people that already have underlying health problems. So for someone like myself, my kids, my wife, most of my family, they should be fine, even if they were to get the virus. And that's the other thing. You see a lot of people coming out saying, stop panicking. I had the coronavirus, like a lot of people from Seattle. They're starting to come out and saying, I recovered completely from the coronavirus. Don't panic. And now I do agree that we shouldn't be panicking, because panicking only makes things worse. But you have to realize that just because you, a physically fit, healthy person, recovered from the virus does not mean everything's going to be okay. We're going to run into situations where, now I'm thinking long term here, people are going to die. Like, there's no other way to get around this. People are going to die. And when they do die, their houses are going to they're going to become vacated. Their mortgages on those houses are not going to be getting paid. Their bills are not going to be getting paid. Like, there's a huge trickle effect. There's so many different things that people don't think about. They're doing their best to open up like secondary hotels as hospitals, because hotels obviously aren't being used because nobody's going to be traveling during this. So they're actually looking to turn these hotels into like secondary hospitals to send people with the coronavirus, so that they're not being taken into the actual hospitals where other people who are already in danger are staying. Because if you bring the virus into the hospital, I mean, you're as good as, it's almost, in a sense, unintentionally killing somebody else, right? If somebody gets so scared, they're like, oh, I think I have the coronavirus, and they just openly walk into the emergency room, they're endangering everyone in that hospital, including all the workers, all the people that are already there. And darn right well that there's going to be people that do that. Now imagine somebody going in to visit a grandparent at a nursing home, and they're not showing symptoms, so they don't think they have the virus, and they do, and they transmit it to their grandmother or grandfather or whoever it may be, and then mother, dad, whatever. And then that would be like the plague for a nursing home right now. It's that dangerous. People are underestimating this thing 100%, and it's just very dangerous. Anyways, got a little off, not off topic, because I was kind of planning on talking about that a bunch today anyway. But let's see. Zishan or Ben says, I believe today was a dead cat bounce. I totally agree with you. I think it was a combination of being a dead cat bounce, people buying for what they think is value, thinking that it can't go any lower, those types of people. And I also think just the speech by Trump, there was a lot of things to help push it up, but I definitely do believe that we are not near the bottom quite yet. I could be wrong, but I do think that we will at least come down and retest this area once the media starts getting hold of the people that start dying, and that's the other thing too, guys. Restaurant business, the airlines, the cruise lines, all of these places are shutting down. They're going to be losing so much money. And it's going to take a while, once things start to die down, for people to actually start using these services again, let alone like have fully booked flights, fully booked cruises, fully booked whatever it may be, tourist destinations, getting people back in their restaurants, back in their city, spending money. It's going to be a shit show for a while. It just is. And a lot of people are not accounting for this. And then once the media starts reporting all the deaths, there's no way that we just started and you're telling me that as all the actual bad stuff from the virus, when it starts happening, the market's going to be climbing. Not a chance. Not a chance. We can be positive, and I try to be positive. I like to be optimistic, but I'm also a realist. I am very much a realist, and I know I've seen what it's done in China. This isn't something that I'm just assuming is going to happen. We've seen this happen in China. We've seen it happen in Italy. We've seen it happen in other places already. It's going to happen here. It's here. It's going to happen. Look at what the nation has already done now, even though I think it was a little bit too late. We should have been doing this before it got here to help prevent it from spreading as much as it already has. But look at what we've done since it's already happened. It started happening. We're literally doing things that we've never done before. We're having the biggest test in the nation's history of people working from home. They don't have a choice. There are a lot of places of work that are still attempting to have their employees come in, and there's going to be some jobs where employees have to come in because there's, not everything can be done without, physical contact, like shipping products, and like a lot of stuff still has to be done, like delivering packages and cashiers. I guess you don't necessarily need those. You're always going to have at least have one there, but to run the store, open the store, close the store, like there's going to be people that still have to go to work. So, but it is going to be like all churches are closed. Just people aren't going to want, like, I could get the coronavirus. I could live in a bunker. And as long as I'm ordering stuff off Amazon, potentially, since they ship everything in less than 2 days anyway, the virus can live in that box when it's shipped for up to 3 to 4 days. So if just the warehouse that they're shipping from, somebody has the virus and breathes into that box, or it's just in the air when they box it, they could potentially be shipping the virus wherever they send it. So, that's where we're at with this thing. It's not like a germ infested type flu, like the normal everyday influenza that we deal with every year. This is an airborne virus. So it's literally just breathing. And that's what makes it so deadly. And that's what makes it spread so easily. I do agree it could be a bull trap. I totally agree with you, because I definitely don't. I'm not saying we can't rebound even a little bit more, but I just don't think that's what's going to happen. I think a lot of people that jumped in at the bell here thinking that, everything's going to be just fine and dandy, I think they're going to be in for a rude awakening. Just like today when we were gapping up, I had said it all morning, even on the stream right before the bell, that I didn't think this was even going to get close to high a day from yesterday. And sure enough, we didn't get, we did, but not until that speech late in the night, or late in the day. My dad's business is not taking cash, only credit card due to the virus. That kind of makes sense. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. Taking cash or credit card, it doesn't matter. It's in the air at this point. China started to look up a wet market. Wet market is all live seafood. Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I actually ended up taking another trade this afternoon, by the way. Let me pull it up here. It was on OSUR. I had no intention of taking it. I pulled it up and it was actually down here, and I thought we were actually going to get a descending triangle. And we actually broke out of that to the upside. And the only reason I jumped in this was because on the, why is this on the weekly? On the daily, I happened to look over and I saw that we were right at the 200, which you can't see it here, but it was like right at the 200 on the daily. And that's like the only EMA that I ever look at, like pretty much period, minus VWAP. But we pretty much hit it on the daily. It was like sitting right at 8, as well as there was some other good resistance. and it just looked like it was starting to struggle. I was watching this for a little bit as it was climbing, and when it broke through, you could tell it just kept struggling. It kept getting shot down. And when we hit that spot on the daily, I just said, you know what, let's take a shot. And then it tried to actually go up. We got our first entry was at 770, and then we hit it again at 770. And the reason for that is because it jumped up to 786, and I was looking to get an ad up near 8, but it didn't even get up through 790 and got rejected. So we added to it, and then it actually did jump up back to 783, and then we got the move back down. And I was really only looking to get around the top of this candle, but it got down to 755 a couple times, and it kept struggling. And I tried to put my order out at 751, and we were actually on the bid a couple times. And I told myself, I was like, I could either just take the trade off because I think it's going to squeeze because we were kind of getting close to that point, and 750 was trying to hold, or this thing might break 750. I literally went to cancel and just put half my shares there where I took it. But my order, for some reason, it went through and it filled me at 754, even though my order was at 751, and it was a limit order. So I was a little confused there because I should have got filled at 751, but it like popped down and then popped up as it filled me. So I don't know if that was like an error in their system or whatever, but I don't know. I'm probably not going to go fight them over 3 cents. The hassle is probably not worth it. But if I would have got the cancel order in time, I mean, that thing dove like straight through and went all the way down to 689, pretty much like right after we got out. And yeah, so be it. It happens, but it was still a winning trade, which was nice. Billy says, found your channel yesterday. Nice, Billy. Welcome. You're a hidden gem of a channel. Appreciate that. Got an account with CMEG yesterday, and I'm in the process of figuring out ECN fees and hotkeys. Well, there's nothing to figure out with ECN fees. They're just kind of part of it. It's just kind of like a back end fee that you pay. The hotkeys, if you go on my channel, actually here, I'll find it for you real quick. It's an older video, but it has, if you just go to my page and hit the search button and type in hot buttons, I have a Dosh Trader quick setup, and then I also have a video that's dedicated just to setting up the hot buttons. So you could take a look at those if you want. They're pretty good, even though they're older. I've went back and watched them when other people have asked me about my hot buttons, and it's all pretty much the same stuff. But it's really, to me, I love having the hot buttons. They're nice. Yeah. I mean, you should, the size that I'm trading right now, because I'm really trying to kind of dig myself from the bottom. We start from the bottom, now we're here. That's kind of the song that I want to sing, hopefully a couple years from now when I'm actually making some decent money. But as a new trader, the first thing I like to tell everyone, just through my experience, is do not go too big too quick. If there's one thing that I wish I could go back and change for my beginner self, is just risk management, reserve capital. You are going to lose when you first start, because when you're using your own money, your emotions come into play and you don't even realize that they're in play, but they are. And until you have a couple aha moments, light bulb moments, whatever you want to call them, you're not going to understand that that's happening. So when you're starting out, I don't really like demo accounts. I trade completely different on demo because there is no emotions when you're making the trades. So I highly recommend, even though it sucks that you're paying commissions, using, your own money, using real money, and just getting some skin in the game. Even if you have to start at like Thinkorswim or E-Trade or one of those free sites, I highly recommend it because it teaches you the emotions. You can learn and backtest a strategy on paper. I have no problem with that. But when it actually comes to trying to learn how to trade, over half of I would say like 80 to 90% of trading is all mental. So actually seeing the setups and knowing that they probably work is probably 10% of it. The actual mentality to hit the button when you see the setup, That's the hard part. That's the part, because when you go to hit that button, you're like, do I want to hit the button? Am I going to be right? Am I going to be wrong? I don't want to be wrong. Maybe I won't hit the button. And just that quick, in 2-3 seconds, you talked yourself out of a trade that if you were trading on a paper account, you would have took it immediately, because there's no emotion behind it. So the quicker that you can learn how to trade with no emotion, the quicker you'll progress. And this is something I struggle with on a daily basis. There's trades that I don't take because I mentally talk myself out of them. I'm still having trouble with that in my trading. I'm only about a year and a half into this, a little over a year and a half, and it's something that I struggle with. And that's why I've went down in size until I can. It has nothing to do with the money with me. I could be trading for, I could be risking $200 every single trade versus the $25, $30 that I'm risking now. And it would still have nothing to do with the money. The money is not the emotional aspect for me. The emotional aspect for me is I hate being wrong. So being able to admit when you're wrong, that's the key component. That's what you need to figure out how to accept, because I can show you guys my P&L curve, but I have two big losses in my career. I have the MTSI and LYV, and I also have OCX, but that was before I really started to kind of step forward. But anyways, both of those losses were basically because I became a deer in headlights. And when you become a deer in headlights because you break your rules and you don't follow your rules because you become emotional, because the trade gets out of hand, because the money was too large, because you don't want to admit that you're in a losing trade, that is what you have to avoid. That's why I always recommend just starting with smaller size so the money does not make you emotional, and become consistent. Number one is risk management. Number two is consistency. Those are the two main things that you have to figure out. Preserve your capital and get consistent, and then you can scale it up. If you can consistently make $10 a day, you can consistently make $1,000 a day. All it is a different share size. That's all it is. And to make $1,000 a day, the liquidity that you would need to do that is nothing. It's nothing compared to the overall market. You would easily be able to do it whether you're trying to make $10 or $1,000. It's all the same. It's just a couple more zeros. That's all it is. Zishan says, welcome to the channel. He's a true trader. Yeah, I like to think that I am. I like to know that you guys can come to my channel and just know that what you're hearing is the truth. It's one thing that I kind of strive on, and that's one thing that when I first started, I wish there was a channel like mine, which is kind of what led to my channel being made, is that there is no other channel out there like mine. Not a single one. Not that I know of. If you find another one, let me know. I would love to follow them. Someone that shows up every single day. And it's not the fact that I live stream every day, all that stuff, but I show you everything every single day. I'm completely and fully transparent. There is nothing being hidden. There is not anything that I do that you don't know about. And if I make a trade off stream or off, like I don't have it recorded, it was later in the day, I usually tweet it out. I'll show it to you on the live stream, like the Friday night live stream, the next day, whatever it may be, I always show you. And I've always answered any single question that you guys ask. That's all there is to it. I want to be that channel. When you come to it, there's no BS. I'm not trying to sell you a course. I'm just here showing you my journey, and I'm showing you hopefully how to stay away from all the other BS. There's no need to pay for courses. All the stuff in all of those courses is already on YouTube for free. You just have to sit down, find it, do your due diligence, and or find someone like me, ask me where to find it. There's all that good stuff. But Business with Chinese, what's up, man? Paul, what's up, man? Paul killed it today. Absolutely killed it. If you guys are interested, go find here. I'll link the Discord. If you guys aren't part of the Discord, join the Discord. We have a nice little community growing in there, and we like to show charts and kind of discuss the trades and stuff like that after the fact. Welton, what's going on? How are you doing? Billy says, does CMAG charge you no matter what for ECM fees, even if you add liquidity? It has negative amount for add liquidity under ARCA. Yes, they do. I've asked, and unfortunately that is the case. No matter what, it's just, it's an offshore broker thing. They get away with it. There's really no, they don't do rebates for adding liquidity and all that good stuff. So yes, it's just something that I always call offshore brokers a necessary evil, because that's exactly what they are. Unfortunately, it's if you don't have $25,000, if you want to day trade and avoid the PDT rule, you have to go offshore. It's just a necessary evil. May I know how much you pay for commission? Archie asks. I actually pay a little bit less than what you guys would pay if you sign up for the 295 trades. So CMEG starts off with 395. That's the base. If you use my code, which is in the link, or which is in the description below, you get 295. So you save $1 a ticket. I have a per share rate, and that is because I worked it out with them for being an affiliate with them. Once I started, I used to do the 295 trades as well. And once I started bringing them a couple people for, just posting the videos on YouTube and whatnot, I went to them and said, hey, I'm bringing you some business. Is there anything we can do about, I actually had asked about getting rid of my platform fee. That was kind of something I was interested in. And they said, well, how about we just restructure your commission fee kind of thing. And so they did. So now I pay 0.004 per share, and which benefits me because I trade lower share size. And that's why I was okay with it. But then I also pay 0.025 per share ECN fee. So it comes out to basically be 0.0065 per share per trade. So you can do the math for that. But if you do, if you did 1,000 shares, that would be what, $6.50. So if you do 100 shares, it would be 65 cents. And there is a minimum. I think the minimum is just 50 cents. I think it is. I don't remember Moldify what I was talking about when you said that, so sorry. But I'm glad that I was right on. Zishan says, we all hate being wrong. Yeah, I know. I got crushed today on AVYA. Over leveraged and got greedy. So it was what I just talked about. I'm assuming you got short. That's the other problem too, is I'm a very short bias trader, and we're in an environment right now where pretty much everything is on SSR. So hopefully come Monday, everything should be off of SSR, right? Because it was all put on SSR on Thursday. It has to trade a full day, and it should come off SSR the next trading day. So hopefully Monday, all these stocks come off of SSR and we can actually get some decent plays. But I was kind of sitting on my hands for most of, and you actually saw me take a bunch of longs because of everything being on SSR. And we can get into SSR if anybody wants to kind of get into that. But I don't like shorting stocks that are on SSR because it gives long bias traders an advantage. And why would I want to get short in a position where I don't have the full advantage? It's the whole reason I'm trading an edge, is so that I have the edge. I'm not going to try giving that edge back. But yeah, Avia looks like a pain in the butt. This thing looks like it would push up and then never really pull back. Kept on squeezing. You would get little pullbacks, but nothing real crazy. This initial grind up here, ascending triangle, got a little bit higher. You got a little bit of a pullback there. That was probably your biggest pullback here. Tried to go a little bit lower here, then you got the squeeze, and then, yeah, just kind of consolidated there above 9. Plus, once you hesitate and talk yourself out of a trade and then it turns out to be right, you have to deal with the FOMO and regret, which can drastically affect the next trade. Devin, you could not be more right there. I can't tell you how many times you guys that watch the live streams in the morning, you've probably seen that exact thing happen. You should ask the other Devin in the Discord. When we first met, I would study day in, day out. And I can't tell you how many times I would call a trade and be like, it's going to do this. And he's like, all right, take it. And I would find a reason not to take the trade, and it would do exactly what I said. And this is no lie. For about a week, there was another guy in the Discord room. He messaged me on Discord on a Saturday and I just wanted to say thank you. I noticed that Devin said that you have been too scared to take your trades. So I didn't say anything, but every time you would call out a trade, I was secretly taking it. And the dude made like $1,000 that week. And I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? I was like being a call out service and I didn't even know that I was doing it. Yeah, no problem, man. Like I said, I will answer any questions that I can. I am lucky that I do have those commissions, but guys, I do like to think that I earn it. I do run this channel, and trust me, YouTube is not paying me anything. So getting the little bit of a payment back through the commissions, it's very nice. It does help. It helps me keep striving forward. And it also does help me weather the storm per se, while I'm also attempting to become consistent myself. Circuit, what's up, man? Welcome. Of course, Billy. Do you trade options and futures? I do not. Apparently, options are always the hot talk. I always just like to say I just don't trade them, and I'm sorry. But yeah, unfortunately, options are just a little too volatile for me and my account size. I feel like I've watched people trade options, and you can just get one contract, and they can get out of hand pretty quickly. And the spreads on options are just absolutely crazy. You should see me talk myself out of a trade with like a 30-cent spread. And sometimes watching people trade options, I mean, it's like a constant 50+ cent spread. And I don't know how they do it. Tom, I do not believe that is Devin. I believe that's a new Devin. Devin is like triple D or something on here. Some European countries are starting to ban short sales now. So stupid. Such an organic element of the market. How can you ban short sales? Without short sales, how would you have an even flow market? That wouldn't really make too much sense. Santos, $295 with your code. Why? How much is without the code? It's $395 without the code. So if you were to sign up with CMEG with no code, it would be $395 a ticket. But if you sign up with my code down in the description, it's $295. And I'm not trying to sell you on it, but I always just like to pull up a simple calculator and just show you that even if you, and I used to do this when SureTrader was a thing, because their trades were $4.99 a trade. And so going from $4.99 to $2.95 was a pretty big deal. But $3.95 versus $2.95, it's $1. So, I mean, we can just do the math in our head, but just over the course of 100 tickets, not trades. If you had 100 trades, that would be a minimum of 200 tickets. If you only go in once and out once. So that would be, we'll say 200. And then obviously you times that by 1, that's $200 that you're saving just by having a code. It's pretty nice. And obviously that keeps adding up over time. So, and that's your platform fee right there. Right, the platform fee for DOS is $125 a month, so you'd actually still be saving $75 on top of that. Yep, there you go. Yeah, you guys need to start putting the same name in Discord as you have on YouTube. Make things a lot easier for everybody. Agreed. Shorts act as support a lot of times and a healthy balance of liquidity. Yeah, that would be really weird to see that happen. It's awesome content. Let's get Tim to 20 likes. I love Jonathan. He's always getting my likes up there. Yeah, it would be nice. There's 20 of you here. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. I got screwed on RCL, got in as it dipped, and halt scared me, so got out at resume for a loss, and it popped right after, of course. Yeah, the cruise lines were interesting today. Which one did you try? RCL? This was CCL. This was Carnival. I'll give you guys a little tidbit of information after this as well. But if you look at the way these were trading, they were trading with the market. Like, watch, I'm going to go from RCL to the SPY and watch like this big area here, and then watch the gap up, and then watch the big drop down at the open. So let me hit enter on the SPY, scroll out a little bit, and there's the big run from yesterday, the gap up, and the big drop at the open. So these were just trading with the SPY, but they kept getting halted. And that is actually why I traded NCLH today, which is Norwegian Cruise Lines. Now, if you guys go back and watch this trade live, you'll see that my son was really getting to me on this first trade. But essentially, this thing came down and halted. And when it came out of the halt, we were looking to jump back in because we saw the SPY had already moved back up a little bit. And we had missed the initial move. And unfortunately, when we got in, fortunately, it went up to 1120. Our entry was at 1085. And I had an order out there a little bit higher. Didn't get it. It started to come back down, and it just straight up dropped out. Went low a day, and we kind of felt like it was done. We were looking to make this a 112 based off of the support area in the after hours from yesterday. So we were looking to get the add here, and then one more if we needed to under 10. Didn't even get that. It popped back up, and it went above our average for a little bit. It did get up to 1090, and our average was sitting at like 1055, I think it was. But it went up to 1090 and shot right back down to 1050 and just sat at our average. And we were looking for it to go back through 11. We were looking for this move, but unfortunately it kind of faked us out a little bit. And again, my son was just being a brat right when that all happened. And so we ended up just jumping out it was actually a little bit of a loss. It wasn't a big one. It was basically a wash trade. And then we get the ascending triangle here started to form, and I realized that. So we jumped in for the ascending triangle, and ascending triangle or descending triangle, you just look for 1-to-1 on your money. So we got in, put the order at 1-to-1, which was at 1110. It shot up. It actually tried to halt at 1110 on the ask for a second, but the price never actually went up there and held. As you can see, the high was 1110 there. We didn't get any fill. It dropped right back down to 11, and it kind of felt like it didn't want to stay up there, so we took it off at 1102. And we got a little bit less than we wanted, but it was pretty much the same trade. As you can see, it did come back down below 11 there for a second, but then it ended up popping up. We would have got filled. And then it kind of just went sideways. But yeah, these cruise lines, do you have a chat every morning? I do. I do it here live on YouTube. Let me switch. Well, yours was obvious, Tom. I'm talking about like Easy Trader, and his is Ben Conway on here. That's a little very different. So if you make 500 a day, will they lower the commissions? It has nothing to do with how much you make. It's about how many shares you trade, because you can make $500 with 100 shares, right? Depending on what stock you trade. They're more worried about how many shares you trade. But my little tidbit of information is with RCL and CCL. I'm looking to get long on these with my Webull account. Looking at the highs on the daily here for Carnival, it was up near 50, and we were almost down to 10. I told myself today if it got down to 10, I was just going to take some on this account and just hold it until I got my Webull up and running, and then I could just kind of transfer it over to that. But I still don't think we're done going down with these stocks, because they pretty much all just said they're going to stop operations for the next month. So with that being said, they really have there's really no reason for their stock to go up at the moment, unless they just kind of follow with the market. But I tend to think that they might, as everything really starts to hit and people will start to see that, okay, they're obviously not having cruises, that these are going to go down a little bit more. I'm really interested in Royal Caribbean. This thing was up at 130, and we are down at 30, in the 30s right now. That is absolutely insane. That's about 75% of the stock is just nuts. And President Trump came out and mentioned that they basically are making them shut down, which in my head, me and Tom were actually talking about this earlier, saying that they're getting help from the government as they are shutting down for 30 days. So I don't think a company like Royal Caribbean or Carnival are going out of business anytime soon. It's definitely going to be a long-term play, but I definitely see these going back up quite a bit. And these are my two picks for this little bit of a crazy correction in the market for possible longs to ride back up when we get the chance. That's my thought process on that's my Warren Buffett moment of the year. But I did not. I don't have any money in my Webull account right now. I'm actually in the process of getting it in there. But I figured I have plenty of time because I'm not looking, and these aren't the only two that I'm really looking at, but they are my top two because I just think they have the most upside. I mean, this thing was at $137 before we had, the markets started doing what they were doing, and we're down at $33. I mean, if this was up at like $65, $75 right now, I'm probably not even having this conversation. But we're down at $33 right now, and it got all the way down under 30. I even said with this one, if it got down under 20, I was going to buy some. For some reason today, it got down under 20. Just like with Carnival, if it would have got under 10, I would have been scooping some up. I mean, it's just, and I didn't want to buy anything until the virus starts to make its way, like until we're on the back end of everything. Like once the crazy chaos that is going to unfolds and we start to get through all of that, that's when I was looking to start to get into some of these positions. And I'm thinking that's going to be probably about a month from now. So, and I still kind of hold true to that. But if these wanted to drop that low this early, I was more than willing to jump in and put some of my money where my mouth is, per se. But unfortunately, we didn't quite get there. So I'm just going to kind of wait it out and see what happens. And this is something that I wouldn't even mind buying on the way back up. Because once the dust starts to settle, I really think these are going to make their way back up. Maybe not even to the highs, but something like Royal Caribbean, I feel like this will definitely at least start to get back up there towards 100. And the same with CCL. I definitely think this will get back up towards at least like 35, 40. I mean, it might take a while, but I have a good gut instinct, just as someone that's cruised a lot and looked into these companies before. I know that they have a lot of cash, and the odds of them going out of business just for something like this, even if they weren't getting any aid from the government, would be very slim. So we'll see. Also with CMEG, is it $295 per trade along with the fees for over 1K shares? 0.005 for 1K and over, so $295 plus. No. If that makes sense. No, it would be, and you can ask as many questions as you want, man. It would be, if you go over 1,000, it just turns into 0.005. So you would disregard the $295. It's $295 for anything under 1,000. And then once you get over 1,000, the $295 is no longer in play. It would just become 0.005 per share. So if you bought 1,000 shares, it would be $5. If you bought 2,000 shares, it would be $10, etc. And yes, that would be every ticket. I heard in China only the government can short sell. What? That would be ridiculous. USA had short sell bans, but only for days at a time. I think on 9/11. Well, that would make more sense. But wouldn't that? Well, that's true, because like if you look at the SPY, it's always shortable because on ETFs they always have it available. Did you get the ball sponsorship? No, I didn't. That's why I'm drinking water. I'm protesting. No, I'm just kidding. I would still love it. They haven't even reached out to me. Yeah, no problem, Billy. So, caught up in chat, guys. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. I love the engagement. By the way, I am most likely going to get out of here right around midnight. Just would like to get some sleep. Everything got canceled this weekend, so I would just honestly like to be up and have a good weekend with the kids. Just really come down and actually be able to relax and not have to worry about trading. Just not worry about anything except for kind of being with the kids. I'm with them a lot, but I feel like sometimes I love them so much that I just want to actually sit down and focus on them 100%. And I do with my youngest pretty much every day now once I am done trading, but I want to have that deep focus. Like actually just sit there and give them my 100% full attention No thoughts of even looking at the computer to see what the market's doing, all that good stuff. So my one other trade today was very early. It was on OXY, otherwise known as Oxy. And this one was just a quick one towards the bell. Now, when the markets opened, they started tanking, but Oxy, it popped up on the scanner, and I noticed that this was going down a lot quicker than the market was. And if you guys don't know, I look to trade intense moves. That's what the intensity stock watch scanners that I use, that's what they look for. They look for moves that are happening in a very quick fashion. And because the idea is the quicker the move, the weaker the trend. So the faster the move down, in this case, the odds are we're going to find a reversal. And as you can see, we pretty much bottom ticked this thing, and it popped right back up over 12, and it just struggled. This was just like the other trade with NCLH, where we really felt like we were going to get the pop, and it was just going to keep squeezing like it did. But as you can see, it kind of fiddled with us at 12. And because we only got the single entry here, again, we were looking to see if we could get the double entry if it would have continued down to 1150. Because if we scroll out again, right there, we had a bunch of support. And it's actually where it closed yesterday. GDT, what's up, man? Or wait, are you actually here? Or did that just randomly come through from didn't you do that like 2 weeks ago? Streamlabs is weird. I don't think GDT is actually here. And if he is, then thank you. I appreciate that. But I don't think he's here. That was from a couple weeks ago. Maybe even like 3 weeks ago. It has a weird thing with the super chats. They like randomly come through sometimes. But yeah, so we were looking for that 1150 support to hold as well. If it wanted to continue, it did not. When it popped back through 12, it kind of hesitated, didn't feel like it wanted it. We didn't want it to come back down against us after it already made a move back up through 12. Our entry was at 1182, so we took it off at, I think it was, 1204. It came back down under 12 for a little bit, like it wanted to come back down. It was a little bit of a fake out, and then it actually went all the way up over 13. So that was a little depressing, but it happens. And again, when I only get the single entry like that, it's more of a base hit type play instead of looking for a home run. So I'm never going to get greedy. Plus that trade lasted 55 seconds and we made 22 cents. So not going to complain, especially, I mean, obviously with smaller share size, it kind of sucks, but I'm never going to complain because eventually these single entries where this was 10 shares, it could be 1,000 shares, right? And then 1,000 shares on 22 cents in 55 seconds is $222. I'm not $220. I'm not going to complain about that. Yeah, I didn't think GDT was here. He does show up for these every once in a while, but I didn't think he was here today. Do you pay attention to gold and the Fed a lot? I do not. I very rarely pay attention to news in general, but this coronavirus, it's been hard not to pay attention to. And it's just one of those things where you should always know what's going on in the grand scheme of things, but you should never let it affect your trading. I mean, you can. If you're a news-driven, like news-based type trader, then so be it. Find the best, instead of finding scanners, find the best news source that gets the news to you the quickest. That's the beauty of the market. There's thousands of different ways to trade, and they can all make money. Your goal is to find an edge in the market that fits you, master that edge, and scale it up, right? It's that simple. It really is. No matter if it's buying support, selling resistance, whether it's playing news, whether it's buying the breakout if you really want to try doing that, or if it's something like mine where I'm looking to play the reversals on intense moves. There's so many different ways that you can make money. You can play ABCD patterns. You can play ascending triangles. You can play descending triangles. You can play head and shoulder pattern. You can play, there's so many different patterns out there if you really want to play technicals. Like a technical based trader, you can be a price action based trader. There's so many different ways. And you can use them all to your advantage. You can be a swing trader. You can be a day trader. You can be a long-term trader, there's just so many different ways. And all I can say is find an edge, find something you enjoy doing, practice, become consistent, keep your risk at check, and that's it. Master it, master it, master it, and then you can scale it, right? That's all it is. It's no, if you guys played poker, I used to play poker a lot when I was younger. I still play here and there, but that's all it is. If you start at $10 tournaments, have a bankroll for $10 tournaments. Once you win enough at the $10 tournaments, you can go up to the $20 tournaments. Once you have a bankroll big enough for the, say, $30 tournaments, you can go from 20 to 30. You see, it's the same thing with stocks. If you're trying to make $25 a day, make $25 a day until you have the bankroll to where you can risk trying to make $50 a day. And then when you can do that, maybe you want to go to 100. Maybe you're trying to double each time. But make sure that no matter what, you always have risk management in place. And a good rule of thumb is when you're first starting out, you should never be risking more than 1% of your account on any given day. So if you have a $5,000 account, that's $50. You should never be risking more than $50 any given day. And if you do that, if you do it properly, you will always be able to show up tomorrow to trade. Always. Because you should, if you're going to lose $50 every single day, it's going to take a long time for you to lose all your money. So I would hope by the time that would happen, you hopefully have figured something out, and hopefully you're not losing $50 every single day. Look, OPK, good chart to short. It's in a huge descending triangle on, well, I guess it could be a flag if you really look at it. I think didn't we play OPK the other day? I want to say we did. I want to say we did it yesterday. No, maybe it was the day before. Yeah, maybe it was I don't remember. I don't remember if I did or not. You know what? Let me just check this way. OPK. Nope, I don't see it on here. Oh, it was OKE. That's what it was. I have a question for the room. Why do you think is gold going down with the market this time, even when methods of inflation are planned to safe the market? It's a good question, and it's a question that I have no answer to, but I know somebody was just telling me, like JNUG, this thing was at 100, let's see if I can get it, $105, and now we're at $4. But these are, JNUG is a triple, like a 3X ETF. So basically it moves 3 times the amount of the ETF. But like if we look at, was it Nugget, NUGT? This was, it's basically the same as JNUG, but this was at 42 and now we're down at 6. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I have no idea. It's like everything kind of went down. Even crypto went down. Everyone was also saying that crypto was supposed to kind of go up when the market goes down, and even that's not the case. It would only take 100 days. Yep, that's a long time. 100 days, that's half of a year. There's only, 252 trading days in a year? So 100 days, that's basically half a year. If you're losing $50 100 days in a row, something's wrong. You're doing something wrong. But think of it this way. You were able to lose for 100 days in a row. Your money lasted you for 100 days, 100 trading days, versus some people blow their accounts up in one day. And that's completely, I keep wanting to say unnecessary, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's completely something that you should not do. Uncalled for. No, there's a good word for that, and I just can't think of it. I remember BPTH. Is there a stream delay? Yes, there is a stream delay. It shouldn't be that much. Let's test it. Let me see. It's 124 exactly right now. Let me listen to myself. So it's about 7 seconds. But I also have it set on low latency. I could set it on like ultra low, which would probably bring it back down to, I don't know, like 4 or 5 seconds. I don't know. It's never going to be like up to date, like to the second. I don't think YouTube has that capability. Yeah, BPTH was a pretty crazy one. That thing was like just a multi runner. Chat should not be delayed. Chat should go right through. Yeah, delay doesn't really matter. Yeah, BPTH, that thing went all the way up to $73.52, and now it's down to $3.64. But this isn't because of the market. This is just because the stock is crap, and it was a pump and dump. Another one was HUNT. If you guys remember this one, like if we look at the daily, will it let me? Yeah, there we go. So this thing just like ran sideways for the longest time, and then just out of nowhere, with less than 1 million in volume, 717,000 on the full day, this thing went all the way up to $103.90, and it halted. And not only did it unhalt, like down, I think it was like 20 something, but it unhalted after it was delisted. So it was unhalted onto the OTC markets. So that one's pretty crazy. Then you have like DRYS. This is the one that went freaking bonkers. Like way back when. I don't even know how to like look at that thing, to be completely honest, because like when you start to scroll back out, it goes like crazy up. I don't even know how to read this chart, but yeah. There's so many different tickers that have just been pump and dumps. That's why I don't really play those. It's not 30 seconds though. It's only like 7 or 8 seconds. I just tested it. What I like, if I say the time out loud, but I listen to myself. Let's test it again. 40 seconds. See, that time it was only 6 seconds. It was clicking over to 7 seconds. And then, so I don't know what you're talking about. What you talking about, Willis? But is there any other questions? I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I don't really want to go ranting about coronavirus. If you have elderly ones around you, just keep that in mind. You might not even be you might never show symptoms of having the virus yourself, but you might actually have it. And then just going around some elderly people, whether it be family or not, you could inadvertently kill somebody. Seriously, think about that. I wouldn't personally want to be held responsible. Obviously you probably wouldn't get held responsible, but I wouldn't even want to have the guilt frame of mind that I could possibly do that. So try to quarantine yourself until this does start to die down, until we have a handle on it. They're talking about already making a vaccine. That's all crap. A lot of the stuff the media talks about is just complete crap. Washing your hands and all that stuff, don't touch your face, that's all crap. You should be doing that stuff anyway, just through personal hygiene, but that's not how this virus is spreading. This virus is spreading literally through the air. Every time you breathe, you're literally transmitting your breath, and in your breath is where the virus takes place, or where the virus is transmitted. Yes, you can get your germs on things, and other people can do that, but that's not how the virus is being transmitted. So and that's the other thing, these masks, everybody's wearing a mask. The masks don't do anything. If you are infected, it's more practical to wear the mask. But if you're wearing a mask to try to prevent getting the virus, it's not going to do you any good, because that mask, all it does is loop around. You still have the air getting in. You're still breathing the air through the mask. You're still going to get the virus even while wearing a mask. It doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to think of some other things that are crap that they're spitting out there. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure I'll think of something else. Do you buy a lot of breakout trades, momentum high of day? I do not ever buy breakout trades. It's just one of the things that I don't do. I think that they're silly. There's a guru on YouTube that does it all the time. And one of the reasons I made this channel was to try to get to new traders before he does. So hopefully that answers your question, Billy. My first green week, $15. Hell yeah, Nick. Fist pound that shit. Atta boy. Start slow, man. That's what it's all about. Please talk about your fee structure more. I hate that the min is $2.95 because I don't trade that many shares. Well, Ben, Easy Trader, I don't really see why talking about it more is going to help the situation, but imagine being on SureTrader where a lot of people were and you were paying $4.99 a trade instead of $2.95. That's $2 more every single time you hit the button. Start adding that up in your head. Like I said, it's a necessary evil. If you don't want to deal with the commissions and you still want to trade without the PDT rule, the only thing that I can tell you is open a cash account with a US broker. You'll be able to trade as much as you want as long as you have the cash settled and available in the account. But you also can't short when you use a cash account, so you could only go long. So those are that's the downside to having a cash account, but you'll have free commissions. So that's the only thing. But obviously everyone knows that these free commissions are crap as well because you're getting crap executions and all that good stuff. That's been proven over and over again already. LOL Ross. Yeah, I didn't say you did. If I open an account with CMEG, it comes with the charting platform. Is that the same as DOS Pro? It is DOS Pro. That's what I have right here. What you're looking at is exactly what you would get with CMEG for the 120. It's $125 a month. You get DOS platform and you get the market data. It's all included. Use Thinkorswim for charting and CMEG and DOS for trading. Yep, you can do that too. When I first started trading, if you go back and watch my first video, you'll see I was with SureTrader then. I had my montage, which was DOS, and I was using it right next to the Thinkorswim charts. So yes, you can do that. I know exactly what you mean about the breakout trader. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that you, it's hard not to see him first. His advertisements are everywhere. All these, I like to, it's a running joke that I have that if you see an advertisement for a trader that's on YouTube, stay away. It's that simple. They're putting more money into marketing than they're actually trading in their live accounts. Just wrap that one around your head. They're spending more money on marketing versus how much they're actually trading and trying to make in a year. They're spending more in a year than they make in a year from trading. I get that. Does that make sense? There's a reason why they do it. What's the difference between DOS and Sterling? What's better in your opinion? I've used Sterling. I used it for a month because I was curious. They actually have a different short bank that they use. So they actually at the time seemed to always have a couple more shorts in play than DOS did. But that seems to have changed a little bit since I switched back anyway. But their platform, I don't know. The Sterling platform just always seemed a little bit laggy to me. I wish Paul was still here because he's using the Sterling platform and he can't wait to switch back over to DOS. But that's kind of how I was. I started using Sterling and about 2 weeks in, I was like, I can't take this. I just want to get back to DOS because DOS is just so simple and quick. The executions are just flawless. And I've never had an issue with DOS where with Sterling, everything felt a little bit laggy. Sometimes the executions were, I was like, wait a minute, was that slippage or was it the platform lagging? It was just, I don't know. I didn't like Sterling at all. But again, it's personal preference. You might love Sterling. But I'm just not one that does. I pay $1 commission for direct market access, but yeah, I have PDT. Yeah, Interactive Brokers is where I would like to end up eventually when I end up with a US based account. But unfortunately, I do not have the money for that. So I am over here with CMEG until that becomes a reality. But IB has a very good short list as well as a very good commission structure. Yeah, I think theirs is a minimum of $1 at Interactive Brokers, and it's also per share. It's like 0.0035 or something crazy like that. So, but obviously the only difference is the PDT rule. And use DOS Trader with it as well. Yes, yeah, and they do have access to DOS there. Ross seems like a good guy. Ross is, I don't dislike Ross as a person. He just has clearly changed from worrying about trading more to worried about his overall business. And his overall business is to sell courses, sell chat room access, sell all those other things. Like I said, anyone that's putting more money into marketing per year than they're making in trading, it's obvious that they're not necessarily worried about how much they're making in trading. Now, granted, he has to still put up the trades and the numbers to attract all the new traders. I was about to call them sheep, but the new traders. And that's kind of what he does. He turns and burns, right? It's kind of like Walmart employees. They come and go. They just keep coming and they just keep on going. Turn and burn. Show me the money. Show me the money. All right. Besides Laura, who just said the reference, first person to tell me what movie that line is from, I don't know. I don't really have anything to give you. I'll just give you an Air 5. Show me the money. And then I have a follow-up question. Come on. I know I'm only six seconds behind, so you guys should already know this. There we go, Jerry Maguire. All right, the follow-up question, Air 5, Ben. The follow-up question is, what was the guy's name that made Jerry Maguire say, show me the money? What was his name in the movie? And then I have one more question. I've watched that movie so many times that I just happen to know this stuff. Is Ben just going to be the only one that answers it? I'm over here. I'm watching some poker too. Some football guy. Yeah, what was his name? Apparently, I guess you can answer this too. Don't Google it, though. You're Googling it. Rod Tidwell, that is it. What team did he play for? That was the other follow-up question. I said Googling it. My phone said, what are you Googling? Bitcoin dropping again. Did you guys see what Mr. Whelan did today? Apparently he made a big oopsie in his futures account. Like left an open order or something. Ended up blowing up his account. I've been getting CMEG to change my date of birth because it's incorrect and they just ignore me. Yeah, it was the Cardinals. You're very good at Googling, Mr. Ben Conway. Just got the feeling that that's what happened. Alexa didn't know. Boits, they probably don't care. I don't think they're ignoring you. Did you try calling them? Like if it matters to you that much? If you try calling them, hopefully that would work. Yeah, but Googling it takes the fun out of it. It's funny because the radio stations now, when they do contests where they ask questions and they know that people are Googling it. So the reason, like all their contests now, they do live. So you have to like answer the questions like within like 5 seconds. But even then, there's a video on YouTube where a guy holds his phone up to his computer And when the guy goes to ask the question, his phone's just sitting there next to the computer with the mic on listening. It Googles it and he has the answers right there. So it's like, even though you're only giving them like 5 seconds to answer, which is actually a short amount of time, they're still Googling the answers for these radio contests. It's kind of funny. I'm a talented Googler. There's no problem with Googling it. Now my Google is talking to me. 10 great tips to win radio contest and giveaways. It's funny. I did call them and they said they were going to change it, but it's already been a month and it hasn't changed. I would call them back. They obviously forgot about it. And like I said, they probably don't care. So until you call them to change it again, they've probably forgot about it. Or try to go the email route. A lot of people have been saying they've had pretty quick responses from them lately via email, so they must be all caught up now. It does matter because when you call to withdraw the money, they ask your birthday to verify. You might be right there. I just did that withdrawal video, and now I'm going to go check the form real quick because I'm curious. I don't remember it having your birth date on there, but you're probably right. Let me see. Oh, I clicked the wrong folder. Where is it? What the heck? I'm not seeing it in my sent folder. Oh, there it is. It's saying, oh, because okay, that's right. Old Tom. Wait. These nuts is going to bed. I was like, why? Yeah, I heard it come through, but I didn't see it in the chat. Make a new video? Why do I need a new video? Did you watch the older videos? They should theoretically be the same. I mean, it's literally you right click after you have to right click up in here, go to go to layout config and just transfer hot button over to this. And that's the other thing a lot of people don't know in the montage. Like, say you want your level 2 underneath your hot buttons, you can make that happen. All you do is that, or you just transfer it down one, and now the level 2 is actually down here. You can arrange this however you want. Like, if you want the level 1 down here as well and the trading, and you want the hot buttons up top, there you go. Like, you can lay this out however you want. But yeah, to get the hot buttons even active, you just have to add it from over here to over there. It'll then pop up. It'll just be a blank space and it'll say like, click here to add button. And then you'll do that. And then you add rows and then it'll ask you how many buttons. So like, let's just say 5. It'll add them. And then you can obviously delete them, all that good stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I mean, that's pretty much what the video is. That's all it would be. And then you just right click, and when you go to actually make the hot button, you just name it. You can change the color. You put the hotkey script in there, and that's it. And you can change the size of the buttons too. So if you want to make them like really big or really small, you can. There's some interesting stuff you can do there, but it's really nothing special. Wrong name. What was the... You had me at hello blue chips? What? Get out of here. Don't make fun of my intro. It asked for your birthday and address when you signed up for the broker. Well, yeah, he's saying it when he did that. He gave them the right one, but they entered it wrong. Boyts, I recommend try to call one more time, and if for some reason you can't get through, let me know. I'll give them a call, and we'll see if we can't get it taken care of. It's a little ridiculous that if you've called and tried emailing 5 times that they haven't fixed it. Sorry, I was checking one more thing real quick. I don't see it asks for your account number. It doesn't ask for your date of birth on the actual withdrawal request. I mean, this is what I was looking at. So when you pull up the actual withdrawal request, I don't see anywhere on there that asks for your actual date of birth. I know it asks for a form of ID. So if you just give them the form of ID, and if they try to come back and say the date of birth's wrong, you can be like, well, you need to go look at my application when I signed up, because this is the same form of ID that I gave you when I signed up, and you guys entered it wrong. So, I mean, that's what I would do. But I see nowhere on here where it would matter when you go to make the withdrawal. Did you buy toilet paper? I know everywhere it's sold out. Good night, Mom. Yeah, man, I'm going to give them another call Monday, sweet. Yeah, we did buy toilet paper. Let me make you guys laugh. So we didn't buy toilet paper when everyone else was buying toilet paper, so they were all out of toilet paper. The only toilet paper we could find were those big 1,000-foot long ones that you put into the public restroom things, like the big round circle ones. So yeah, that's the toilet paper that we bought to have just in case, because we were running low on toilet paper. So that was the only toilet paper we could find to buy. Where do you find the hot button coding thing? Well, the hotkeys, that's a whole different story. Don't you laugh at me, Jeff. Don't you laugh at me. So if you bring up your actual broker and you go to setup and then hotkey, can I pop this out? It already is popped out? Okay, sweet. That's going to be too big. So there's a bunch of hotkeys that are already in here. They're kind of like default hotkeys. But what you can do is you can come down here to add new item, and then you can name it, set the hotkey, and then the script, you go here to order script wizard, and then you can build your own hotkey. So if we wanted to buy, and this is where you can kind of change things up, but like say you wanted to set it to a specific amount of shares, you would just put in that amount of shares. So say 100 shares. Symbol you can leave blank because that will default to whatever montage you're currently on. Price you can set, like, so if you're buying and you want to make sure you get into the stock, you're going to do the ask. And you can obviously set this to the bid, like if you always like to buy on the bid, but you can hit buy on the ask. And if you want to, like, obviously guarantee that you get in, you put like 0.05. Now, what that's going to do, say the price is at $10. When you hit the button, it's going to put your price at $10.05. But if the price is still at $10 on the ask, it's going to give you $10. They're required, it's a law to give you the best price available. So just because you're giving them room to $10.05 doesn't mean they're going to fill you at $10.05. If the best price available is $10, they're going to fill you at $10. This is just guaranteeing you that if when you hit the button, the price is moving up, say you wanted $10, but it starts to move and it's at $10.02, you're basically giving it 5 cents of slippage to make sure you get your fill. That's all that is. The account number, you can put this in here if you want. I leave it blank so that way whatever's in the montage is what's used. So that way you don't ever have to wonder if your hotkey or hot button is actually going to change when you hit the button. The route, I usually just leave this blank because whatever you have in the montage is going to be, just realize that that's backwards. I have these two backwards. The level ones should be, or the trading should be under the level one. The TIFF, you want to put this on day. Now for CMEG, day is for intraday. Day plus is for pre-market and after hours. So always keep that in mind if you do set this, which I always do. That way it's just always, because I only trade intraday anyway, so I just always have them set the day. Show quantity, you don't have to worry about that. Stop type, even if it's not a stop button, you don't have to say that. We're just buying 100 shares here. And then mode, now you can either load and send, or you can just load it. So if you want to load and send, you obviously put it there. If you only want to load, you just hit load. So, and if you hit load, what it's going to do is it's going to basically just put your order in the montage, and then you would have to hit the buy button to actually put it through, or hit enter for it to go through. So let's say we'll say load and send, and then you just hit build script. And there you go. You just built a hotkey to buy 100 shares on the ask plus 5 cents, and it will send it. And the more and more you kind of play around with all of the different hotkeys and just go through each individual thing, and you'll start to figure out like what they all mean, and then you can start making custom ones and all that good stuff. So it's pretty easy. But then you would literally just take this, Control C, copy it. You can keep it if you want. X out of this, minimize that, and then you would go into your hotkey, and if this is a brand new hotkey, name it, Control V, paste it in there, buy 100 shares on ask. And since we're buying, you can change it to green, and boom, there you go. It's that simple. My mom doesn't have a channel. No, that was my mom. That's why I said that. No, is Zishan? Oh, I see what you're saying. No. Zishan is not my mom. Mom was the one that said goodnight. Your wife gonna hold it for you while you poop? Oh, guys. She's gonna literally sit next to the toilet, put her arm out so that it's just sitting on her so I can pull it and it rolls. No, that is not the case. All right, guys, you got me for another 8 minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here. If you have anything to ask, any questions, all that good stuff, don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. If you're not subscribed, obviously hit the subscribe button. Have a good weekend. I am going to be here Monday morning. The wife is actually, they're letting her work from home for at least the next 2 weeks, so she will be here as well. That should be fun. We're actually still debating on whether we're going to still send the oldest to daycare or not, because they're actually remaining open. So probably not. We'll probably keep them home. We haven't really talked about it quite yet. We're going to talk about it over the weekend. I do plan to put out a video, one of the general trading tip videos. We will see how. I'll probably do that tomorrow night. So I might release it tomorrow night as well, but it might not come out until Sunday. I might record it tomorrow night and then just edit it like Sunday morning when I wake up or something. Like I said, I plan on kind of disconnecting a little bit this weekend just to be with the kiddos and just enjoying their company. And I'm planning on taking a nap both days too, so that'll be nice. Well, it's a daycare. It's not a school. And they're kind of like most of the workplaces. They're kind of just staying open, but we're kind of more afraid of another family maybe not being as cautious letting their kid come to school, because kids apparently aren't showing symptoms that much. So they're definitely going to be silent transmitters a lot of the times. And yeah, so I'd be more afraid that people are like, oh, my kid's not sick, I'll just let him go. But in reality, he could have the virus and he could easily transmit it to every other kid and teacher there. And then obviously they bring it home. And that's one of the major reasons they were shutting all the schools down, is because kids are pretty much what get most families sick. Because you go to school where you got all these other sick kids, and it's like a freaking germ fest in there. Yeah, we're probably not. Like I said, it was a thought, but the odds are he'll be staying home. So you'll probably hear my wife and both my kids pretty much for the next 2 weeks, which should be fun. But we'll get through it. We shall get through it. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good weekend. I am definitely going to pass out. That is 100% sure. Give you guys another 5 minutes or so. Ask away if you have any questions. I need to remember to bring this upstairs. Still watching some poker. Queens versus jacks. It's a small pot. Interesting. Good night, Zishan. Yep, I'll see you Monday morning, man. Hold'em. I always played Hold'em. I mean, I played some Omaha, but not really. Like, it wasn't my game of choice. My game of choice was definitely Hold'em. I quit because of Black Friday. I was forced to quit. Just like every other person in the United States. Woke up one day and my account was frozen. Luckily, I was with the more reputable site of PokerStars, and I ended up getting my money out of the account, but still a pretty crappy situation. I was gonna say I just Googled it myself. I was gonna say just Google Black Friday, like poker Black Friday, and it'll kind of give you the explanation. But the cliff notes are that I think it was the FBI one day just seized all operations of like offshore poker in the United States. Just was not allowed as of that day. Are you in the United States? What state are you in? Because they've slowly been legalizing certain states. But I know for a fact that Maryland is not one of those states. They have been very much against it for a very long time. Rhode Island. Let's see. Play online poker, Maryland. America's Card Room, Bovada. Huh. Wonder if this has all changed since the last time I looked. I honestly haven't looked in a few years. I'll have to check it out. I've moved down into the bunker. I have water, dehydrated food, 6 cartons of toilet paper, and 3 women who are there on their own free will. More or less, and I'll testify to that in court. There's room for you. Bring pepperoni. Oh, Vincenzo. You just came in, man. I'm leaving in literally 50 seconds. Thanks for that, Ben. I'm actually going to look into that. I was just talking about that with my dad today, actually, about playing poker online. I kept saying I'm just waiting. I would really love for a place like PokerStars to be able to come back. I mainly played sit and goes, and when everything got shut down, I was playing $20 sit and goes on PokerStars. That was kind of the 20 plus twos. That was my forte, my sweet spot. I started at the $5.50 ones, and I built my bankroll. It took about 3 years, and I just slowly built it up, and I just kept climbing. I was grinding. There was some days I'd play 50 tournaments. I would sit there and play like 6 at a time. Yeah, I was never really much of a heads up guy. I watched Ivy win today, Vincenzo. I was watching that myself. It was actually, was it like right around like 1 o'clock? Yeah, they were in Russia. They were playing short deck. Short deck looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, bankroll management. That's why I compare trading to poker a lot, because there's a lot of big similarities when it comes to bankroll management, risk management. It's kind of all the same thing. I try to explain that to people, and it's hard sometimes because I go on my little poker tangent, and a lot of people have never played poker, but it's all about the same thing. You're watching Lex on Twitter. I'm actually watching live at the bike. I've been watching it pretty much all night. But speaking of that, I'm actually going to get out of here. I'm going to probably watch it while I finish my drink, and then I will see you guys Monday morning. Lex? Yeah, I've heard of Lex. You ever hear of the brothers? Crap, I'm having a brain fart. One of them's the big heavy guy. He was kind of the one that started it all on Twitch. Wow, what a brain fart. Jamie. Yeah. Jamie Staples. And now his brother, is it Ben? I think it is. He actually just had like his first big score not that long ago. It was like a final table. He came in third it was 5 figures. I don't remember how much. Yeah, Matt, that's it. I don't know why I thought it was Ben. Yeah, I used to watch all them guys. I still pay attention to them. I actually, if you on YouTube, Brad Owen and Andrew Nemi, I watch both of them. They have those meetup games a lot. They have some pretty good analysis of their hands. The reason I think I watch them a lot is because I like to just kind of keep up with like how the game's being played. So when I go to play live myself, I can try to, know what I'm doing, or at least be ahead of the normal person playing. Like back when I was playing, there was no like ICM stuff. There was no like playing people's ranges and, like all that good stuff. It was just kind of standard ABC poker. Basically, if you could be the tight, consistent player, you would make money. And nowadays, there's just so much more to it, so much more math. Like playing pot odds was always a thing, but now people will just straight gamble based off of ranges and it's crazy. It's crazy now. Yeah, I was into the technicals a little bit, but not like they are now. I mean, it's crazy what they do now. But like Tom Dwan, that dude is a nut. He that's why he's so good, is he calculates odds and math like so fast in any given moment. And a lot of the times he's making these insane plays just based off of odds. It's crazy. But okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend, and I will see you Monday morning. Peace.